Nigeria raised up to settle areas in electricity. News update and headlines. Welcome.
This is a man's war. Why are you here? But if you know what you are doing, if you have the knowledge, if you have the God and have a strong heart, there is a thing that you will put. Another person doesn't have it. They will acknowledge you. They will first to acknowledge you and know that you know where you are going. And you don't give up. You have to have the strength to work tirelessly for you to stop. And when you meet up and they know that you are there, they have to accept you. There is a way that we see women. We see women that they don't supposed to do anything. They're supposed to be in the backyard. They're supposed to be in the house. They're supposed to do anything. That's the mindset of African, our own tradition. In our own tradition. But I want to tell you, one day, if anything happened to that man, and you have to, what are you going to do? So I'm advising every woman to know and stand up for something. Start doing that thing. You can do it. Don't say I'm a woman. They say I'm a human being. Has created me to achieve something in the world. Not only to get children, but to have something that I can reckon with. So many women fly pilots, so many planes, so many women do so many things. You know that it's only men that can do. So now, some women have to change and come up.
News update and headlines. Top news. Iran signals US negotiation. Want to read the two quick resolution. Iran and the US are set to start negotiations Friday to de-escalate tension that has threatened to speak to Tehran. The meeting in Oman's capital of Muscat will focus on broad topics rather than are expected to clarify roadmap for future talks, Republican news agency reported early Friday. News update and headlines. India holds rate longer pause after US trade deal. News update and headlines. Is Friday, 6th of February 2026. News update. AI spending wars. US-Iran talks. News update and headlines. News updates and headlines on this Friday. Keir Starmer under pressure. News update and headlines. News update and headlines. News updates and headlines. DeFi emerging market really at your peril. News updates. US and Iran talks begin in Oman. Canada dispatched senior officer to open Greenland consulate. Iran says it's ready to defend itself. News update and headlines. Iran says it's ready to defend itself as US and Iran talks begin in Oman. Headlines. US and Iran began in fear of direct conflict continue. News update and headlines. Canada dispatches senior officer to open Greenland consulate. President Trump endorsed Japanese Taichi ahead of snap election. U.S. police believe Savannah Guthrie's missing mother is there. News updates and headlines. News updates and headlines. Authority release new timeline of Guthrie's disappearance. There has been no proof of R.I.P and no follow-up communications connected to the ransom letter. The FBI also announced a $50 reward for information leading to news updates and
what she had on or what she was wearing, all those things.
We are 5 days into this. Are we any closer to finding Nancy Guthrie?
I would say we are. People are always asking, do I believe she's alive? Absolutely. That, I hope, keeps us motivated because we do know of each passing day.
The FBI.
news update and headlines. FBI had added $50,000 reward for information on Guthrie's disappearance. News updates and headlines.
A loving picture of their mother.
News updates and headlines.
Having already passed through great trials of pain.
Well, officials say there is.
Investigators said no evidence ransom notes are legitimate. The U.S. military conducted a strike against another alleged drug trafficking boat in Eastern Pacific Ocean on this Thursday, killing 2 people according to U.S. Threatened Command. At least 119 people have now been killed in a strike on suspected drug boats as part of campaign dubbed Operation Southern Spear. That's the Trump to reopen the communication channel between the U.S. and Russia. President Trump's top foreign envoy says although no resolution to conflict appears at hand, also Thursday and Russia each returned 157 prisoners or to the other side, the first such exchange since October 26. The newly released tranche of files related to Jeffrey Epstein have cast a fresh shadow over billionaire Bill Gates' ties to the convicted sex offender, revealing a series of graphic, unverified allegations as well as a degree of philanthropic coordination between the two. This is more detailed than previous known. CNN.com. News updates and headlines. A newly released email appeared to confirm the authenticity of photographs of Britain's Andrew Mountbatten Windsor with his arm around the waist of Virginia Giuffre, one of the most prominent victims of Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking ring. CNN.com. Said President Donald Trump is willing to consider some of Democrats'
Faculty of Agriculture, Environmental Management and Renewable Energy in Bachelor of Science in Farming and Co-production, Agroforestry, Animal Production, Agribusiness, Forestry and Natural Resources Management, Renewable Energy. It also has a
new development. Investigator says no evidence ransom notes are legitimate. Mass layoffs outlined by Amazon and UPS meant last month was the worst January for job updates and headlines. News and headlines. Sheriff News and headlines. Sheriff said on Thursday in Nancy, making it to heaven. President Donald Trump shifted his focus to politics, telling the audience, "I don't know how a person of faith can vote for a Democrat." CNN.com. Complex, the Trump administration's much-anticipated direct-to-consumer drug platform went live on Thursday. The website will serve as a clearing-house that connects patients with drug makers selling certain products to those willing. It remains to be seen whether direct-to-consumer channel will actually result in lower cost for cash-paying patients with prescriptions. CNN.com. Matthew Stanford edged Drake May for the A.R.P. NFL Most Valuable Player award on Thursday night in the closest race since Peyton Manning and Steve McLaren were co-winners in 2003. News update: Investigator has not identified any person of interest or suspect that you would consider a prime suspect in search for Nancy Guthrie, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos said at news conference on this Thursday. The sheriff also said reporters' blood found on the porch of Nancy Guthrie's home belonged to Guthrie herself. The mother of NBC Today, Savannah Guthrie, has been missing for 5 days now. News update: Cameron Guthrie, the son of Nancy Guthrie, issued another prayer for the return of their mother on his sister Savannah's Instagram account. Said, "Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from her. We need you to reach out and we need a way to communicate with you." News update: so we can move forward. Meantime, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nonas told that investigators believe the 84-year-old removed from her home against her will. The FBI investigating a ransom letter sent to both local and national media outlets. FBI Special Agent in charge H. Jank said during Thursday news conference, "There has been no proof of life and no follow-up communication connected to the ransom letter." News update: TMZ founder Harvey Levin says a purported ransom note in the disappearance of Savannah Guthrie's mother contained edited, no random information, raising concern the person behind it may be nearby as authorities race to track its origin. Fox News. Officials confirm crime in disappearance of Savannah Guthrie, 84-year-old mother Nancy, who went missing Saturday night from her home, according to authorities. Sheriff says there are suspects in the Nancy Guthrie case as the search continues for the missing 84-year-old Tucson woman and mother of Today host Savannah Guthrie. News update and headlines: Trump endorses Hungary's PM Orban for re-election.
16 years.
News update and headlines: Nicaraguan Mark Darwin Alexander Davila Perez, an illegal alien, allegedly launched a violent attack on federal agent after failed attempt to buy a gun. Fox News. Tom Brady said he doesn't have a dog in the fight regarding the Patriots' latest Super Bowl appearance, drawing criticism from his former teammates and current player. Fox News. Historic discounts. President Trump launches Trump RX Gov prescription website saying New Deal will end year of U.S. consumer subsidizing cheaper drug price abroad. White House.
Insecure. And so the ODNI director is working with the FBI on this effort, and the president wholeheartedly supports both Kash Patel and Tulsi Gabbard in ensuring that American elections are safe, are secure, and are free of foreign intervention.
White House election security. Ban on ICE should surround the police during midterms. News update and headlines. News update and headlines. New United States forces say they killed 2 narco-terrorists in a strike on drug boat in the Eastern Pacific. Fox News. Bizarre parallels. 2 teens were arrested in Arizona home invasion tied to allegedly 65 million cryptocurrency plot that happened the same day Nancy Guthrie was last seen before disappearing from her Tucson home about 2 hours away. Fox News. ICY reception. Sen. Marshall Blackburn is urging Chief Justice Roberts to launch an investigation in Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson over her attendance at the Grammy Award, where celeb voiced anti-ICE rhetoric through the show. Fox News. President Donald Trump says
the lowest price paid by any other country. So we're taking the lowest price paid for drugs we will pay equal to whatever the lowest price in the world. That's the price that you're going to be paying.
Pay equal to the lowest for prescription drugs anywhere in the world as they unveil Trump's RX. It is a tremendous reduction.
A new website is called TrumpRx.gov. That's TrumpRx.gov. For years, politicians from both parties have promised to bring down prescription drug prices and make healthcare more affordable, but they all failed. Dozens of the most commonly used prescription drugs will be available at dramatic discounts for all consumers throughout a new website, TrumpRx.gov. That's TrumpRx.gov. For years, politicians from both parties have promised to bring down prescription drug prices and make healthcare more affordable, but they all failed.
News update and Headlines: Restore Law and Order. White House credits administration's border security, federal arrest and deportation of the Council on Criminal Justice report historic decline in moderate across major United States cities. News updates and headlines. News updates and headlines.
We're here this evening to celebrate the launch of one of the most transformative healthcare initiatives of all time. There's never been anything like it. Starting tonight, dozens of the most commonly used prescription drugs will be available at dramatic discounts for all consumers throughout a new website. It's called TrumpRx.gov. That's TrumpRx.gov. For years, politicians from both parties have promised to bring down prescription, make healthcare more affordable, but they all failed. It was all words as usual. They failed, and they failed badly. They tried doing this, some of them, most of them didn't even try, because they never really had a shot at it. But I'm actually getting it done. And this launch represents the largest reduction in prescription drug prices in history by many, many times. And it's not even close. You're going to see numbers that you're not going to believe. Americans have long been paying the highest drug prices anywhere in the world, while other countries often paid pennies on the dollar for the exact same drugs. We were essentially subsidizing the entire world, and subsidizing by hundreds of billions of dollars every year. The United States is just 4% of the world's population and consumes only 13% of all prescription drugs, yet pharmaceutical companies have been making 75% from these drugs. Think of it, 75% of the money they made came from the United States, with a smaller population than what we will call the world. Drugs for the entire world, and it's not going any longer. We ended it. Everybody knew it was unfair for 30 years, but nobody did anything about it. Under the most favored nation agreements my administration has negotiated, the United States will pay the lowest price paid by any other country. So we're taking the lowest price paid for drugs. We will pay equal to whatever the lowest price anywhere in the world. That's the price that you're going to be paying. It's a tremendous reduction. Drug prices in other nations will go up by doing this. They had to. The reason they agreed is I used tariffs. I said, if you don't put them up, then we're going to put tariffs on your nation, which will be more expensive to you. So in many cases, the drug costs will go up by double and even triple for them, but they're going way down for the United States, come all the way down by a difference of as much as even 600%, even more than that in some cases. For example, you will see dramatic reductions in the cost of popular weight loss drugs known as GLP-1s. GLP-1s. Novo Nordisk will be slashing the price, as an example, of Ozempic from more than $1,000 to $199, and the price of Wegovy from more than $1,300 to $199. Nobody can even believe it. A 578% difference. Eli Lilly, who's been very helpful to us in getting this done, will be cutting the cost of its common insulin, drug, and medication from $200 to $25. Nobody can believe it. $200 to $25. AstraZeneca is slashing the price of a common inhaler from $458 to $51, a difference of nearly 800%. And we're also delivering historic discounts for couples struggling with infertility, as EMD Serrano will dramatically cut the cost of its most common IVF drug. For example, a single dose of the most common IVF drug in the country, Gonal-F, will plummet from the highest price in the developed world that we paid. The United States was subsidizing everybody. We paid the highest to the lowest price in the world, which will be demonstrating very shortly. I have some very talented people coming up and showing you how it's going to work and how the website works. All of these discounts and more will be available directly to consumers starting today at trumprx.gov. In just a moment, we will demonstrate how you can go to the website, get a coupon, and pick up your heavily discounted prescription drugs, highest level drugs, the highest level company, finest in the world, biggest in the world, most powerful drug companies in the world. And we had to go through them, and then we had to get all of these countries worldwide to lower their prices, and for us, help us lower our price. And what they did is, again, their prices went up by double, triple, and even sometimes 4 and 5 times. But the dozens of commonly used drugs available today are just the beginning. 16 of the 17 largest pharmaceutical companies have signed agreements, and the other one is coming. Believe me, they're coming. Committing that going forward, all new medicines they bring to the market in the United States will be available at most favored nation prices. For those that don't know, that means in the entire world, most favored, we get the most favored, the lowest price. So if somebody gets a great price, that's great for us because we get it. So this is the exact opposite of what's been happening for the last 30 plus years. This policy, which is a key pillar of the great healthcare plan, is going to bring co-pays plummeting down and save Americans billions and billions of dollars, making healthcare much more affordable, like at a level that you couldn't believe. In my first administration, I kept drugs pretty even. I thought I was doing a great job. But this is really the great job. There's never been anything like it. Nobody thought it was possible to get it done. It's the biggest thing to happen in healthcare, I think, in many, many decades. Under these agreements, the top pharmaceutical companies will also be investing hundreds of billions of dollars to bring drug manufacturing back to America. It's already happening. They're building plants all over the country. Eli Lilly is building 6 plants with billions and billions of dollars each, which means jobs, economic growth, factory openings, and far greater national security. And it's really a big factor was the tariffs. We're charging very substantial tariffs for companies that don't want to make their drugs or pharmaceuticals and automobiles and other things. If they don't want to make them in the United States, they have to pay very big penalties in the form of tariffs. And what that means is they're all coming here. Every industry is coming here. We're taking in more than $18 trillion into the United States because of tariffs. Companies, the only way they can avoid them is to build here. They avoid paying the tariff. Now, they've been doing that, countries, to us for 30 years. That's how we lost so much business. They were drying up our country. We were losing factories. We were losing jobs like nobody's ever seen for many, many years. And now it's all been reversed, and we've never had a period. This is the wealthiest our country has ever been, of billions of dollars a year pouring in, and we're taking advantage of it. I want to give a special thanks to Airbnb co-founder and now, much more importantly, the Chief Design Officer of the United States, Joe Gebbia, and the entire team at the National Design Studio. They're unbelievably talented people. This group of geniuses could be doing anything right now. They could have been making a big fortune out there, but they decided they want to be with the government and do exactly what you're going to see tonight, and also some other things having to do with our country. And I want to thank Joe. With their help, our American by Design initiative will fully transform our most dated federal systems and services, providing Americans the richest, most beautiful, and most user-friendly government experience in the entire world. We have the greatest designers in the entire world, and they're with our country. They love our country. That's why they're doing it. So now I'd like to invite Administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, an incredible guy, a really brilliant man, Dr. Mehmet Oz, to show us how this beautiful new website works. And Dr. Oz, come on, and let's see what you can tell us. Thank you, by the way. Everybody, you're going to save a fortune, and this is also so good for overall healthcare. And Oz, you've done a fantastic job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So you demanded, President demanded, that we have most favored nation drug pricing, which he explained beautifully. Today, you can now get access to these discounted, steeply discounted prices. All the hard work the president and the administration have done now is yours, but you have to go check TrumpRx.gov. So if you have access, please log on right now. It's free. You get to look at all the prices, and you should not be buying drugs anymore going forward without at least checking to see if those medications are available at these discounted prices on TrumpRx.gov. That stated, Mr. President, many people don't appreciate this, but one of the most special things you've been able to do, besides negotiating these kinds of deals, is bring wonderful people around you who can actually fulfill the dream of making drugs accessible so Americans no longer suffer that affordability issue. 1 in 3 Americans are turned away from the drugstore. They can't afford the drugs. No more. Our most vulnerable are protected. To do that, you need brilliant software engineers. And Ed Korstein led a wonderful group that you hired. Folks, again, would never normally have come into government to work to make this possible. And Joe, just a superstar, and he's going to take us through the website.
Thanks, Dr. Oz. Mr. President, I've launched some big websites, and this is one I think you're going to be very proud of. So you mentioned Gonal-F. I think this is an interesting drug that we can check and see how do you find a drug on the site. So we'll pull up the website here. This is TrumpRx.gov. And I'm going to start at the search bar where I can search by the drug name. So I type in Gonal-F, and I see it auto-completes. When I click on this, I have a beautiful page that shows the drug product. And right at the top, I see this is 83% off the original price. Now, how do I get this discount? I take this coupon, and I bring it to the pharmacy. I can print it out. I can add it to my wallet on my phone, whether it's an Apple or an Android. I show it to the pharmacist, and I get the coupon credit right at the register. Now, this is an intelligent site. We know that there's other drugs that are commonly prescribed along with this, so we surface them here and they work with the same coupon. Okay, next, what pharmacies can you go to get this drug? It's a smart site. We pull up exactly where you can go to get this. Now, Gonal-F is a specialty drug, so you get it through the mail. I can call any one of these pharmacies and they deliver it straight to my home. It's that simple.
Mr. President, 1 in 3 families having trouble having a baby. We're going to have a lot of Trump babies with these costs. Folks cannot afford these medications. It's going to change their lives. Now, this is the tip of the iceberg because Joe did a lot more with Ed and the rest of the national. How many more medications do you have?
Well, the website launches with over 40 medications, ones that are the popular medications and ones that were previously very expensive. These are things like asthma inhalers, the GLP-1s. And on TrumpRx, you can actually find things like the weight loss shots and also new form factors like the weight loss pill. Let's click on this and see the discount for the pill. 89% off the getting the lowest cost price drugs like the rest of the world is. And we're not done. We're adding more and more drugs week over week. So going forward, it's an invitation to the nation to check TrumpRx.gov anytime you get a prescription.
Mr. President, we're breaking news. This weight loss shot that you've talked about a lot, this is a weight loss pill. And with these pills, which are actually even less expensive than the shots, we project that America will lose about 100 million pounds this year, which is going to make not only folks a lot healthier, but a lot easier to manage when they do get ill. But I'm particularly drawn, as I know you are, to the plight of folks, young couples trying to have children. And that first medication, one of the first ones we did most favored nation drug pricing on, has helped an immense number of folks. But the first person to use TrumpRx.gov to buy Gonal-F is here. And I wanted to introduce her to you, if you don't mind. Catherine's with us. Oh, perfect. Secretary Kennedy's going to escort her.
Good evening. I'm incredibly honored to be here tonight. I'm a military spouse, and my husband and I have been navigating infertility and IVF for 5 years, a journey that has included profound loss. Through that experience, we have come to understand how critical access to affordable fertility medication truly is. Medications like Gonal-F and access to them have been essential to our treatment and to our hope of success. IVF demands extraordinary physical and emotional strength. But for so many families, the financial burden can be just as heavy and at times overwhelming. The President's leadership on price transparency and on reducing the cost of medications, some of which are essential in my fertility treatments, has a real and immediate impact. Families like ours, it can mean the difference between being able to continue treatment or having no choice but to stop. These efforts help ensure that IVF remains within reach for families who are doing everything that future. Families who should not have to choose between financial stability and the chance to have a child. For that commitment and leadership, we are greatly thankful. Thank you.
Well, listen, everybody, I want to thank you for the job, Joe. What a job you do. Bobby is back here, who is so instrumental. He's doing such a fantastic job. Who would have thought of Kennedy? We love the Kennedy, the Republican Party, but there's been no advocate for what we're doing than Bobby Kennedy Jr. So I just want to leave you with this. You're going to save tremendous amounts of money. Go to the site. We have many of them in a very short period of time. I have just about all of them, and they'll be available for differences of 5, 6, 700%, even in some cases more than that. We're tired of subsidizing the world. We have to put America first. If you think about it, that's exactly what we're doing. We want to take care of everybody, but we have to put America first. So this is going to have a huge impact on healthcare. No matter which plan they come up with, drugs and prescription drugs, they form a big part. And now you're going to be getting those drugs at numbers, not with a 1 or 2 or 10%, but think of it, 80%, 90% in some cases, numbers that nobody's. And again, Joe and Oz, thank you very much. Great job. And congratulations to you and all that money you're saving. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
News update and headlines. News update and headlines. Epstein abuse survivor speaks to BBC.
Will be brought here.
So do I hear from you that you accept the British Prime Minister's apology, and do you want other countries to move as far and fast as he has now done?
Yes, we need to investigate all these allegations. This is concerning, you know.
I mean, I should perhaps take this as an opportunity to thank you for answering any questions at all. It's not about whether questions are good or bad. It's the fact that you were abused at the age of 14 and you've agreed to take these questions now. So I'd like to thank you. And I just wonder, do you think your life, you know, are you moving on? It's half of your life dealing with this, but I'm guessing you welcome the pace of events which is accompanying the release of millions of documents.
You know, I got to tell you, these last release of, you know, the files that were released, they really they overwhelmed me. They stressed me out. I think I haven't been, makes me question, who can we trust here? Because right now we cannot trust anybody. They've let so much of our information out that it has put us at risk. And, you know, it has brought to myself where I'm worried sometimes, you know, for myself, my family, they have let out information of myself that can lead to me, who I am and where I live and my phone number today. So I am very concerned and I am very stressed out and I'm very overwhelmed.
I mean, it brings it home to us what a job you're doing by speaking. And you're speaking because you want the justice for the survivors. You want the record put straight. One of the people at the centre of it all, Ghislaine Maxwell, is appearing next week before the Oversight Committee. There's reports she may stay silent. She may use her rights under the US Constitution, the so-called Fifth Amendment. Do you think Ghislaine Maxwell should speak?
You know, it's really hard to say with Ghislaine because we've seen her before. We've seen how she's lied, you know, many times. And just the fact that we're even giving her a platform to speak on is insane. I think myself and the survivors are all in shock over here that we're giving her the opportunity to lie again.
And here we go back to the biggest irony of all, which was pointed out to me by a leading female politician in Britain, that the only person in prison for the crimes of Jeffrey Epstein at the moment is a woman.
Yes. And it just shows, you know, that we are in 2026 and women still are fighting to amplify their voice. And, you know, we're fighting for a lot of things that we thought we had today as women.
And when you told me the release had stressed you, is another word for that, brought back the trauma that you had to go public with when you waived your anonymity.
Well, it's definitely re-traumatizing when I have to go through my files and find out things that I did not know. When I broke my silence in September, I specifically said the FBI and the government knows information about me more than I do. And I was completely honest about that. When I seen my files that are no longer obviously in the DOJ's website, I was in shock, because there are things in there that I did not know, and I had to find out on that Friday when it was released, and it has drained me because I cannot stop thinking about it, and I'm heartbroken about this. I'm extremely stressed. I'm frustrated. I'm sad. I'm feeling every emotion, and they are not good. I'm going to be honest with you. They are not good.
Bitcoin sell-off intensive. News update and headlines. Trump RX site goes live. News update and headlines. The year of Olympic medal worth more than ever. Olympic Games going to start. The FBI is investigating a ransomware sent to both local and national media outlets. FBI Special Agent in charge Hate Jenks said during Thursday's news conference, there has been no follow-up communication connected to the ransom. The FBI also announced a $50,000 reward for information leading to the recovery of Nancy Guthrie or the arrest of conviction of anyone involved in her disappearance. CNN.com. News update and headlines. U.S.-Iran talks open in Oman as Washington seeks to curb Tehran's nuclear and missile program. News update. Run-up to Thailand's general elections. At least 24 people killed. News update and headlines. U.S. and Iran talks begin in Oman as fear of direct conflict. News update. Canada dispatches senior officer consulate. President Trump allows Japanese Taikashi ahead of snap election. BBC Global China unit uncover hotel guest secretary filmed having sex. China spy comes. BBC Global China. Russia general shot. Russian general hospitalized after being shot several times in Moscow. BBC. News update and headlines. Breaking news. At least 24 people are killed in explosion at mosque in Islamabad. 24 people are killed in explosion in Islamabad. Winter Olympics. Winter Olympics going to start in Milano, Italy. News update and headlines. News update and headlines. Headlines. Oman statement on U.S. talks. U.S.-Iran hold indirect talks.
Said those are indirect talks. So Oman met with the U.S. delegation led by Steve Witkoff, and then separately with representatives from Iran. But Iran also said before those talks even started that it won't be a major step, that those will be just some sort of broad talks, and on the top of it, indirect. We haven't heard from President Trump about those negotiations yet, so this could still come later today. He just started posting, and of course oil traders will follow it very carefully because this has been moving oil prices. Yeah.
Mandelson had no role in banking UK data deal, Healy says. Bitcoin bounces as traders buy deep after 50 retreats.
We will pay equal to whatever the lowest price anywhere in the world. That's the price that you're going to be paying. It's a tremendous reduction. Drug prices go up by doing this. They had to agree, and the reason they agreed is I used tariffs.
News update and headlines. Russia says top intelligence officer wounded in Moscow shooting. News update and headlines. Headlines. Stocks rebound after tech loot as Bitcoin claims max R.I.P. Total Energy expand energy hunt in Africa's drill hotspot. Americans turn to TikTok tips Mexico to escape. News update. News update and headlines. Gaza, 24 personnes décédées. Olympique, les dirigeants arrivent à Mira pour la cérémonie d'ouverture. Country leader arriving in Milan for Geo 2026 opening. News update, headlines. News update and headlines. Eipstein Files fallout. Howley says Trump doesn't need to testify under oath because he has nothing to hide. Trump said country needs to move on. Country needs to move on from Epstein. News update and headlines. Winter Olympics opening ceremony today on 7 p.m. News update and headlines. Opening ceremony of Winter Olympic, 7 p.m. GMT. Ski mountaineering will debut as a new sport. 2,900 athletes will compete for 116 medals during these Winter Olympics Games. News update and headlines. Top government figures to be forced to hand over message with Mandelson. Canada and France to open Greenland consulate after Trump demands. President Trump endorsed Japanese Takai ahead of snap elections. News update and headlines. Breaking news, at least 24 people are killed in explosion at mosque in Islamabad. News updates and headlines. Negotiation between Iran and United States. Iran's foreign ministry said Thursday the high-stake talks are scheduled to take place Friday in Oman capital, Muscat. President Trump's top foreign envoy Steve Witkoff and his son-in-law Jared Kushner will represent the United States in discussions. News update. The United States military conducted a strike against another alleged drug trafficking boat in the Eastern Pacific Ocean on this Thursday, killing 2 people, according to United States Southern Command. At least 119 people have now been killed in a strike on suspect drug boats as part of a campaign dubbed Operation Southern Spear that the Trump administration has said is aimed at curtailing trafficking. Talks intended to end the Ukraine war concluded Thursday in an agreement to reopen a military communication channel between the United States and Russia. President Donald Trump, to foreign envoy, says, although no resolution to the conflict appear at hand. News update and headlines. Singer Charlie Kicks.
Honestly, a dream project to me, and when I first started making music, I was so inspired by, so many of the references that Emerald and I were talking about, from like Shakespeare's Sister to The Cure to see Kate Bush. So this was, it was really heavenly to work on this. And you had
US-Iran talks are open in Oman as Washington seeks to curb Tehran's nuclear and missile program. China spy comes. BBC Global China Unity uncover hotel guest secretary filmed having news update and headlines. Optimism for AI potential.
How do you think about job losses or AI tools?
I hear the anxiety and I understand the anxiety about jobs. I think that we are certainly going to live through a massive transition about how people learn to work alongside these tools. The reality is I do think there'll be some number of jobs that are displaced. I think it is a smaller number. Some we estimate it's around 7%. And I think what's important is that we have programs that help those 7% transition into new fields of work. I think what is more likely is that most of us are going to learn to work alongside these tools. So we estimate about 2/3 of us. When you think about the tasks you do in your daily life, when you look at every industry, there are administrative tasks happening everywhere, and that's what AI is most helpful in improving.
News update and headlines. Top news. BCG tackles backlash over Gaza contract with volunteer push. The move are internally being viewed as an attempt to repair damage wrought by BCG consultant involvement with the government. Top news: DeFi emerging market rally at your peril. Kormiganic says traders should think twice before selling emerging market debt as funds are prepared to keep pouring money. News update and headlines. News update and headlines. News update and headlines on this 6th of February 2026 on Friday. News updates and headlines. News updates and headlines. Islamabad explosion in Pakistan kills at least 31 people. In Islamabad, Pakistan, explosion killed at least 31 people. Ambulances are walking through where the explosion appeared to have happened. News update: at least 31 people are killed in Islamabad, Pakistan from explosion. News update in headlines. Bad Bunny tells upcoming halftime show. Bad Bunny Super Bowl LX.
There's no better dance than the one that can come from the heart.
Bad Bunny teases upcoming halftime show. Rapper says you don't need to know Spanish to enjoy the show. Bad Bunny, who will perform in Super Bowl halftime show. Cameron Guthrie, the son of Nancy Guthrie, issued another prayer for the return of their mother on his sister Savannah's Instagram account. Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. He said, we need you to reach out and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. Meantime, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos told that investigators believe the 84-year-old was removed against her from Tucson. News update. News update headlines. 31 people at least are killed in explosion in Islamabad. Anticipation built and Seahawks take on Patriots on this Sunday in Super Bowl.
Handle that or how we execute that is what could make the difference. And so that's how we try to all our practices, is that something that you're going to do today is going to help us win. Yep.
The coach of Seahawks, the team who is going to take Patriots on Sunday in Super Bowl, NFL Super Bowl. Bad Bunny, the rapper, will perform in halftime show. News update and headlines. News update and headlines. Image from Kiev, Ukraine. The city is in darkness. Image and video taken on 5th of February 2026. And on cherished region Ukraine, people are arriving in bus in Chernihiv region, Ukraine. The video was taken on 5th of February 2026. It looks like family has been apart from many times. Yeah, it is the released prisoner in exchange from Russia and Ukraine. One of something that meeting gave to the two countries. Prisoners of Ukraine and Russia arriving, greeting their families in bus. The family of Ukrainians were happy seeing the person who has been imprisoned in Russia. News update in headlines. Le nouveau traité sur le désarmement nucléaire START a été signé en 2010 entre les États-Unis et il a fixé des limites au nombre de bombardiers d'origine. Moscow, on 22nd September 2026, Vladimir Putin saying les limitations quantitatives sont du niveau pendant un an après. Nous pensons que cette mesure ne sera viable.
Peu après son retour.
Chaque pays était autorisé à conserver au maximum 1550. Donald Trump.
That really are there. And we're going to have them spend a lot less money, and we're going to spend a lot less money. And I know they're going to do it. They agreed to it. We were talking about denuclearizing. And President Putin and I agreed that we were going to do it in a very big way.
Vladimir Putin avait proposé en septembre une prolongation d'un an. News update in headlines. Trump semble indifférent à l'expiration suggérant un nouveau accord. Trump estime que la Chine doit être incluse dans tout nouvel accord nucléaire. Guerre en Ukraine, l'UE approuve un prêt de 90 milliards d'euros. United Nations agreed to give 19 million of euros to Ukraine to support. Le prêt de 90 milliards d'euros sera financé par Kiev recevra 50 milliards d'euros pour acheter des armes et des munitions. Kiev will receive 60 million from United Nations to buy weapons and bullets. Le prêt doit encore être approuvé par le Parlement européen. Guerre Russie-Ukraine, bientôt un envoyé spécial de l'UE de négociation avec Moscou.
With Russia directly, but Ukraine for so many years already and continue to do so. So we should have a say as well. But you see, I mean, again, we are a bit late.
La Russie et l'Ukraine ont échangé jeudi 157 prisonniers de guerre de chaque camp. Russia has exchanged 157 prisoners on each side. Le pourparlers entre délégations ukrainiennes, russes et américaines pour tenter de trouver une issue fait jeudi à Abu Dhabi après 2 jours. Le prince héritier saoudien reçoit News update and headlines. Nancy Guterres' son to kidnapper, we want to talk to you. Nancy Guterres' son to the kidnappers of her mother, he said, we want to talk to you. News update and headlines. News update and headlines. News update and headlines. Investigators saying that no evidence of ransom note are legitimate. Saturday, Nancy Guterres woke up on 5:30 p.m. Sheriff Chris Nanos
Next to each other, all the ring cameras and business cameras, nice. This is in a very suburban rural area of the Tucson area, in a very mountainous side of town where vegetation is extremely thick. It's dark.
Guterres' doorbell camera disconnected before her disappearance. News update and headlines. The camera of Guterres' doorbell were disconnected before her disappearance. News updates and headlines. Now, in sport, in rugby last night, France won 36-25 of Ireland. In Ligue 1 football, Lille is on the 5th place. Lille will be playing against Metz. Genesio.
Je le fais mieux que d'autres, mais je vais tout faire pour que jusqu'à la fin de saison, on ait les résultats en adéquation avec les objectifs du club, c'est-à-dire de participer à une Coupe d'Europe.
Bruno Genesio, the coach of Lille, which is on the 5th position on the table of Ligue 1. Bruno Genesio saying that they must do anything. Let's listen to him.
Mais c'est toute l'animation de l'équipe. Et les 2 derniers matchs, on a encaissé un but, mais on a retrouvé quand même une solidité collective sur ces 2 matchs qu'on n'avait pas vu depuis quelques temps. Donc c'est positif, c'est plutôt encourageant.
Bruno Genesio, the coach of Lille, saying that him and his team must do anything to win, to go to the European competition. Other fixtures, Rennes will play against Rennes, Brest, Lorient, Nantes, Lyon, Nice, Monaco, Auxerre, Paris, Le Havre, Strasbourg, Angers, Toulouse, Paris Saint-Germain against Marseille on Sunday at 8 p.m. Last night in basketball EuroLeague, Bayern Munich 91-82 of Monaco. Basketball NBA result, Dallas 123-235 of San Antonio. Basketball result, Toronto 123-7 Chicago. LA Lakers 119-215 Philadelphia. Results of basketball NBA. Detroit 117-226 Washington. Basketball NBA. Result 109 Charlotte. Phoenix 97-101 Golden State. Coupe de France, Rio will play against Lens, Marseille, Toulouse, Lorient, Nice. Those are the results. Copa del Rey, Betis Sevilla 0-5 Atletico, and the Nigerian Ballon d'Or of last season, Ademola Lookman, scored at his first game and delivered an assist. Ademola Lookman scored and delivered an assist to Antoine Griezmann, and his team Atletico de Madrid won 5-0. News update in sport right now. Atalanta in Cup of Italy. Atalanta 3-0 Juventus. Betis Sevilla 0-5 Atletico de Madrid. In Copa del Rey in Spain. Griezmann Armada scored. Saudi Arabia, la Ligue recadre Cristiano Ronaldo. Saudi Arabia, ok individuel ne détermine la décision qui dépasse le cadre. Rugby Six Nations result. France 36, Ireland 14. News update and headlines. News updates and headlines. News update and headlines.
Le Paris Prince-Sam, c'est toujours un tournoi assez spécial parce que c'est à la maison, c'est devant le public, devant la famille. C'est un gros tournoi en plus, c'est un des meilleurs tournois du monde sur le circuit GF.
C'est vraiment que du kiff et voilà, c'est un instant et on aime trop ça. En début d'année, début de saison, on envoie du lourd. Voilà.
Lady. Paris Grand Slam. Those was the players who will participate in Paris Grand Slam. News update. Frédéric José, général d'équipe de France.
Sur Paris, alors qu'on a eu beaucoup de médailles et on est très fiers. Et on a suffisamment mis nos athlètes à l'honneur et leur performance. Maintenant, on veut vraiment des médailles d'or et des finales. J'allais dire, ce qu'on veut, c'est du spectacle aussi.
Pas de Teddy.
Teddy Riner will not be participating in this Paris Grand Slam. News update and headlines. News updates and headlines. News updates and headlines. Epstein government hand over message.
So the government at the moment being asked by the police not to release the documents. There is frustration in government at that. But as you mentioned, those files go much beyond just the vetting process that led up to Lord Mandelson being appointed US ambassador. Include messages, WhatsApps, emails between Lord Mandelson and government ministers, government officials, special advisors during his time as US ambassador, and that has the potential to be highly embarrassing for those who communicated with him at that time, and it could also take many months for that vast quantity of material to be released and published.
Could you talk us through?
News update. Top government figures to be forced to hand over message with Peter Mandelson.
Come up, and we should say, that they deny plotting to overturn the Prime Minister, but nevertheless, these are the names that lots of MPs talk about. One, Angela Rayner, who, former Deputy Prime Minister, of course, sacked over a failure to pay the correct amount on her second home. Lots of Labour MPs support. She has a deep well of affection within the Labour Party. She has not yet resolved those tax issues, those tax questions. So at the moment, at least, she is not ready. Wes Streeting is another who is frequently named as a potential candidate to succeed Starmer, but he was known to be close to Lord Mandelson, and lots of Labour MPs are wondering whether there might be embarrassing details for him in those files to come in the next few weeks and months. The other person, Shabana Mahmood, the current Home Secretary, questions over whether she has enough support within the Labour Party in particular. And the other name, of course, Andy Burnham, the Mayor of Manchester, is not a Labour MP, so will not be able to stand if there's a race in the weeks.
News updates and headlines. Tempête Leandro. Pays-Bas, la laine maximale s'est formée pour devenir les services de l'armée. États-Unis, news updates and headlines. News update and headlines. Oxford Economics Agent AI system could mark step change for Africa's productivity. News updates and headlines. Oxford Economics advances in AI could reshape Africa's economic prospects.
The copper prices this year, we have already lifted our GDP forecast for the DRC and Zambia. Over the medium to long term, high copper prices should also promote investments in the undeveloped Kalahari copper belt, which is shared between Namibia and Botswana. And this would also help to somewhat offset the diamond growth in the region. But in terms of our baseline view of AI, in September last year, we published a report highlighting our view of AI and how it impacts Africa. So we view AI as more as a tool for skilled individuals. So given that richer countries with more knowledge-intensive jobs will likely benefit more, and in contrast, Africa's smaller pool of knowledge-intensive jobs, the impact will be relatively more modest. However, with more advanced AI that could potentially automate a high percentage of knowledge-intensive tasks, the impact then flips over. So with advanced AI, Africa could disproportionately benefit. So in our recent report published last week, we highlighted 3 channels by which Africa could disproportionately benefit from advanced AI. So this includes, the first is that advanced AI could narrow the returns to technical skills or human capital. So for example, previously, if you want to grade software, you'd need 4 years of education, some experience. Hopefully in the future, you'd simply ask AI to do it. So this this decline in the value of technical skills would then lift the value of other skills, such as entrepreneurship, creativity, which Africa has in abundance. The second channel by which Africa could disproportionately benefit from advanced AI is the fact that Africa has a smaller proportion of knowledge-intensive jobs that could be displaced, which possibly lowers the political opposition to AI adoption. Surveys suggest that African workers are more positive about AI compared to richer countries. This could reflect the kind of confidence younger workforce that is more open to technology-driven disruption. Another factor could be that there's maybe just less to lose. And then the third and trickiest channel by which advanced AI could disproportionately impact Africa is that advanced AI will likely disrupt global labor markets. So in every previous industrial revolution, jobs were lost, but also new jobs were created. This is a pattern for the past 20 years. What is different? Industrial revolution driven by advanced AI, that for the first time, knowledge-intensive work is more under pressure. So, but
News update and headlines. News update and headlines. Once. News update and headlines.
In conclusion, I want to once again take this opportunity to congratulate South Africa and Afreximbank for this historic milestone. I thank you.
News update and headlines. "89 Christian kidnapped in Nigeria has been released." 89 people who has been kidnapped in Nigeria has been released. Abu Sami, governor of Kaduna.
Qu'ils sont tous rentrés chez eux et qu'ils se trouvent actuellement à leur domicile. Parmi les 172 personnes, comme vous le savez, environ 83 sont rentrées en 3 jours et 89 ont été secourus hier ou tôt ce matin. L'enlèvement a eu lieu le 18 janvier en pleine messe dominicale dans le village de Kournawali, situé dans le district à majorité chrétienne de Kadjouro.
These released people were kidnapped in Kajoro. They were in church. But yesterday, 89 people who were kidnapped in Nigeria were released. Maroc cities after heavy rain, inundation in Maroc cities. I see cars, no person in the street, water, no street, no image on the street, only water in Maroc due to heavy rain. Due to heavy rain, people are afraid to go out. Gaza, la plus grande flottille civile avec plus de 100 bateaux prévenus en mars. Gaza, more than 100 cars transporting aid has entered in Gaza. Suleiman Akza Ardo, militante.
1000 médecins, infirmières, professionnels de santé, plus de 100 bateaux, et nous invitons par la présence des participants de toutes les nations, de tous les pays.
News update and headlines. News update and headlines. News update and headlines. News update and headlines. News update and headlines on this Friday, 6th of February 2026. Reminding you that tonight there are many games. We'll start with League 1, Lille vs Metz. Lille in League 1 that hoping to participate into the next European competition. News update and headlines. Bruno Genesio. News update and headlines. So, starting with tonight, football will be back in League One especially, Lille will be playing against Metz. Lille now is on the 5th position on League One table, so Lille will be more likely to win so that they can move to the top 4 so they can participate in European games like Champions League next season. Tomorrow in Premier League, there will be a match, especially the match of the weekend in Premier League. There will be many matches in La Liga, in Serie A, in Bundesliga. So you will be following all those games here. Thank you. That was some of news reports and news updates around the world right now. I hope you are well. Have a nice day, nice evening. Thank you.